Walk onto any used car lot in America today and you will find them parked in the back row. Dusty, marked down twice. Nobody has even asked about them. Meanwhile, buyers are fighting over a 2022 BMW X5 with 60,000 miles and a $55,000 price tag. A car that is one air suspension failure away from a $4,000 bill and one timing chain stretch away from an engine replacement that costs more than the vehicle is worth. I have spent years studying what actually breaks in these trucks and what doesn't. And I'm telling you right now, the SUVs getting ignored in that back row will still be running when those BMW X5s are in the junkyard. These are not good for the price excuses. These are not beaters. These are full-size luxury SUVs that were engineered before manufacturers got obsessed with turbocharged V6, air suspension systems with 6 failure points, and touchscreens that control your climate, your seats, and your engine simultaneously. Today, on AutoNexus, I am counting down 4 dirt-cheap luxury SUVs that nobody is buying right now. Every single one of them will outlast a brand new Range Rover off the showroom floor, and I am saving the best for number 1 because that SUV, in my opinion, carries the single most underrated V8 in the entire used luxury market. And I want to be clear, everything I tell you today is verified, real ownership data. Real Reddit threads from owners who have put 200,000, 300,000 miles on these trucks. No manufacturer marketing, no optimism. Just what actually happens when these engines meet real roads and real mileage. Let's get into it. SUV number 4, Lincoln Navigator, 2007 to 2013. Most people walk past this one without a second look. They see the Lincoln badge, they assume it is an overpriced, unreliable American luxury truck, and they move on to something European that will cost them 3 times as much to maintain. That assumption is costing them $40,000. The Lincoln Navigator, 2007 to 2013, $65,000 new to $12,000 today. Someone absorbed over $53,000 in depreciation, so you don't have to. The engine is Ford's 5.4-liter 3-valve Triton V8. And before you say anything, I know the reputation. The 2-valve 5.4-liter from the early 2000s had spark plug ejection issues. That engine deserved its reputation. The 3-valve version from 2007 onward is a different story. Revised head design, revised plug thread engagement, and a production history in the Navigator, the Expedition, and the F-150 that produced documented examples at 250,000 miles on original internals when the cam phasers were serviced correctly. The Navigator sits on Ford's fully boxed body-on-frame platform, the same architecture underneath the F-150 and Expedition. That matters more than most buyers understand. Body-on-frame means you can repair this truck in pieces. A bent frame section can be replaced. Rust can be addressed panel by panel. The mechanical components underneath are shared with millions of F-150s on the road, which means parts are available at every auto parts store in the country at prices that no European luxury SUV can approach. Reddit's Lincoln Navigator community is consistent on one point. Owners who service the cam phasers proactively at 100,000 miles and change the oil religiously never have engine problems. The threads documenting 200,000-mile Navigators are not exceptional. They are the expected outcome of correct maintenance on this platform. The interior at $12,000 delivers what $65,000 bought in 2007. Full leather throughout, power running boards, a third-row seat that actually accommodates adults, dual-zone climate control, a premium audio system, and a ride-quality assez body-on-frame air suspension on higher trims. That places this SUV in a comfort category that European unibody alternatives at twice this price cannot enter. Here is what to verify before you buy. The cam phasers. This is the one item that decides everything on the 3-valve 5.4-liter. Listen for a cold start rattle that disappears within 10 seconds of startup. That rattle is cam phaser wear, a known, well-documented repair that runs $800 to $1,500 at any competent independent Ford shop. If the rattle is present, use it as negotiation leverage and address it immediately after purchase. If it has already been done, and many well-maintained examples have, you are buying with confidence. Second, verify the transmission fluid history on the 6R80 automatic. Fluid changes every 60,000 miles keep this transmission running indefinitely. Neglect it and you are looking at a $2,500 rebuild. Ask for the records. Third, inspect the air suspension on equipped examples. Bags that have failed are a $300 to $500 per corner repair at an independent shop. Many owners have already converted to passive spring, a buying signal, not a warning. The reason the Navigator costs $12,000 today is the Ford badge in a segment where European names charge a $20,000 premium for less mechanical simplicity and worse long-term reliability data. Ford's platform, Lincoln's specification, $12,000. SUV number 3, Cadillac Escalade, 2007 to 2013. This is the one that surprises people the most on this list, because the Escalade has a reputation. Chrome wheels, rap videos, suburban driveways, and that reputation has nothing to do with what is actually underneath it. The Cadillac Escalade, 2007 to 2013, $70,000 new to $14,000 today. Someone absorbed over $56,000 in depreciation so you don't have to. The engine is GM's L926.2-liter V8. And here's the detail that changes everything about this engine's reputation, and the reason informed buyers specifically seek out the 2007 to 2013 generation over everything that came after. The L92 does not have active fuel management, no AFM, no cylinder deactivation, no lifter collapse at 90,000 miles, no $3,000 to $5,000, AFM repair that dominates every GM V8 ownership form for the 2014 and newer generation. The L92 is a naturally aspirated, port-injected 6.2-liter V8 producing 403 horsepower with a mechanical simplicity that its successor never replicated. No turbocharger, no direct injection carbon buildup, no cylinder deactivation solenoids. Just a large displacement American V8 doing what large displacement American V8s have always done best, generating torque reliably across enormous mileage on basic maintenance. Reddit's GMT 900 Escalade community, one of the most active full-size SUV ownership communities online, documents L92 engines at 200,000, 250,000 miles on original internals with nothing but oil changes and spark plugs. One thread from a high-mileage Escalade owner at 287,000 miles on the original L92 generated 400 responses from owners comparing notes, and the consensus was unanimous. The engine does not stop. The AFM-equipped engines stop. The L92 does not. The platform is GM's GMT 900, shared with the Chevrolet Tahoe, Suburban, and Silverado. The same body-on-frame architecture that American fleets have trusted for decades. Parts availability is essentially unlimited. Labor rates at independent shops are the lowest in the full-size luxury SUV segment. And the 6-speed automatic transmission, the 6L80, is a proven, well-documented unit that with fluid changes reaches 200,000 miles without rebuild on maintained examples. The interior at $14,000 is where the $70,000 original purchase price becomes completely tangible. Full leather, with a quality and depth consistent with Cadillac's flagship positioning of its era. Genuine wood trim, a Bose premium audio system, magnetic ride control suspension on equipped examples, one of the most sophisticated passive suspension systems ever installed in an American SUV that delivers a ride quality that European air suspension alternatives charge $30,000 more to approach. Here's what to verify before you buy. First, confirm the engine is the L92 and not an AFM-equipped variant. VIN verification through a GM dealer takes 5 minutes and is non-negotiable. A 2007 to 2013 Escalade with the L92 and no AFM is a fundamentally different purchase from a 2014 or newer example with the AFM system. Second, the magnetic ride control shock condition on equipped examples. MRC shocks run $200 to $350 per corner at independent shops. Check all 4 for proper damping before closing. Third, verify the transmission fluid history on the 6L80. Same discipline as every automatic on this list, documented fluid changes every 60,000 miles, or negotiate accordingly. The reason the Escalade costs $14,000 today is image depreciation, the same cultural moment that inflated its original price eventually inverted and destroyed its resale value. The engineering underneath did not change. A no AFML 926.2-liter in a GMT 900 body-on-frame platform for $14,000 is one of the most mechanically honest large luxury SUV purchases in the current used market. SUV number 2, Infiniti QX56 2004 to 2010. There is a full-size luxury SUV that Infiniti built when Nissan's engineers were still allowed to build things without a cost accountant reviewing every component decision. A SUV that the used market has consistently underpriced relative to its Japanese reliability DNA, because the badge says Infiniti instead of Lexus, and the American market has never fully closed that gap. The Infiniti QX56, 2004 to 2010, $58,000 new to $8,000 today. Someone absorbed over $50,000 in depreciation so you don't have to. The engine is Nissan's VK56DE 5.6-liter V8, 320 horsepower, naturally aspirated, no turbocharger, no cylinder deactivation, no direct injection, port fuel injection in a large displacement V8 that Nissan designed with the same engineering philosophy they apply to the VQ series. Build the margins large enough that normal use never approaches the limits of the structure. Reddit's QX56 and Armada community is remarkably consistent on this engine. Documented examples at 250,000, 300,000 miles on original internals appear regularly in high-mileage threads, not as exceptional cases but as the expected outcome of synthetic oil changes and nothing else. One Reddit user in the r/Infiniti community documented a 2006 QX56 at 312,000 miles. Original engine, original transmission, summarizing the ownership as changed the oil, changed the tires. That's basically it. That summary appears in variation across dozens of QX56 ownership threads. The platform is Nissan's F-Alpha body on-frame architecture, shared with the Nissan Armada, the Nissan Titan, and the Infiniti QX56. The same platform, the same engine, the same transmission, with one critical difference. The QX56 received the full luxury treatment, full leather, genuine wood trim, a premium Bose audio system, power running boards, third-row seating in near limousine specification, rear seat entertainment, and a suspension tuned specifically for the QX56's luxury positioning, softer, more compliant, more isolated than the Armada that shares its bones. The 5-speed automatic, Nissan's RE5R05A, is the same transmission used in the Pathfinder, Titan, and Armada. It is a unit that the Nissan community has documented extensively. With fluid changes every 60,000 miles using Nissan specification fluid, this transmission reaches 200,000 miles without rebuild on documented examples across multiple platforms. It is not a modern 8 or 9-speed unit with failure modes that no one has fully cataloged yet. It is a proven, mature transmission with a well-understood service profile. Here is what to verify before you buy. First, the timing chain condition. The VK560E uses a timing chain that on high-mileage examples can develop stretch, producing a rattle on cold start that settles within 30 seconds. A chain service on this engine runs $1,200 to $1,800 at an independent Nissan specialist. If the rattle is present, factor it into your offer. If it has already been addressed, that is a significant buying signal. Second, the transfer case fluid condition on 4WD examples. This fluid is frequently overlooked on high-mileage used purchases, and dry transfer case bearings produce a noise that gets misdiagnosed consistently. An $80 fluid change eliminates the concern. Verify it has been done. Third, inspect the HICUS rear steering system on equipped examples for fluid leaks. A minor leak is a negotiation point. An active leak requires attention before purchase. The reason the QX56 costs $8,000 today is straightforward. It is not a Lexus GX. It is not a Toyota Land Cruiser. It carries an Infiniti badge, and the American used market applies a discount to that badge regardless of what the engineering actually delivers. A VK560E in a body-on-frame luxury SUV platform for $8,000 is a transaction that the used market will not price this generously forever. SUV number 1, Lexus GX470, 2003 to 2009. And now we arrive at number 1. The SUV that I would buy tomorrow, with my own money, at this price, if I needed something to drive for the next 15 years and wanted to spend the absolute minimum amount of money on unexpected repairs. The Lexus GX470, 2003 to 2009. $52,000 new to $14,000 today. Someone absorbed over $38,000 in depreciation, so you don't have to. And what they left behind is the vehicle that Toyota built when they took their most proven, most indestructible SUV platform and gave it the full Lexus luxury treatment without compromise. The engine is the 2UZ-FE 4.7-liter V8. The same engine that powers the Toyota Land Cruiser 100 series, the same engine that Toyota installed in the Sequoia, the Tundra, and the 4Runner Phi 8. An engine with a documented production and service history across fleet applications, government, military, expedition, commercial, that no other V8 in this price range can match in volume or in consistency of outcome. Toyota designed the 2UZ-FE for 300,000 miles of real-world service. Cast iron block, aluminum heads, timing belt, not a chain, on a 90,000-mile service interval that eliminates chain stretch concerns entirely. No turbocharger, no direct injection, no cylinder deactivation, no variable displacement. Port fuel injection in a large displacement naturally aspirated V8 that mechanics who work on Toyota vehicles describe with a consistency that is impossible to ignore. It does not stop. Reddit's GX470 ownership community is one of the most data-rich used SUV communities online, and the data is remarkably uniform. In r/Lexus and r/Land Cruiser, GX470 owners with 200,000, 250,000 miles on original powertrains are not treated as exceptional cases. They are the baseline. One thread from a GX470 owner at 310,000 miles generated responses from dozens of owners comparing high-mileage notes, and the mechanical consensus across all of them was the same engine, same transmission, original internals, no major intervention. If you change the oil and do the timing belt, this engine just does not give you a reason to open the hood for anything else. The A750F 5-speed automatic transmission paired with the 2UZ-FE is the same unit used in the Land Cruiser, the 4Runner V8, and the Sequoia. It is not a modern 8-speed with a learning curve and failure modes that the ownership community is still cataloging. It is a thoroughly understood, extensively documented transmission with a single variable in its service history, the fluid. Change it every 60,000 miles with Toyota specification fluid, and this transmission reaches 250,000 miles without rebuild on documented examples. That outcome is not luck. That is the direct result of a transmission Toyota built with the same longevity standard they applied to the engine beside it. The GX470 sits on Toyota's J120 platform, a fully boxed ladder frame that is directly related to the Land Cruiser Prado architecture. This is a genuine body-on-frame SUV with a transfer case, a locking center differential, and a kinetic dynamic suspension system that provides real off-road articulation capability while maintaining the on-road composure of a Lexus flagship. This is not a car-based crossover with AWD cosmetics. This is a truck-based SUV that can go places that European soft-roaders cannot follow, and then return to the freeway and deliver its occupants in Lexus-level silence and comfort. The interior at $14,000 communicates the $52,000 original purchase price in every detail. Full leather with a depth and consistency that communicates Lexus's obsessive quality standard of its era. Real wood trim finished with the gap tolerance that Lexus applied when they were still building to a standard rather than to a cost target. A Mark Levinson premium audio system on higher specification examples, heated and ventilated front seats, a third row, dual-zone climate, and a cabin isolation that places this vehicle in a comfort category that its body-on-frame architecture has no business delivering, but delivers anyway because Toyota spent the engineering budget to make it happen. Here is what to verify before you buy. First, and most important, the timing belt service history. The 2UZ-FE belt at 90,000 miles is the single most important maintenance document on this vehicle. If it has been done and documented, you are buying with full confidence in the powertrain. If it cannot be documented, factor $700 to $1,000 for the complete service, belt, water pump, tensioners, idler pulleys, into your offer and close the deal regardless. The engine underneath that belt is worth every dollar of the negotiation. Second, the rear differential and transfer case fluid condition. These are the two fluid changes that GX470 owners most frequently overlook, and that produce the most expensive, misdiagnosed symptoms when neglected. Both services together cost $150 to $200. Verify they have been done on any example you are seriously considering. Third, inspect the KDSS hydraulic suspension system on equipped examples for fluid leaks at the actuators. A minor seep is a negotiation point. Active leaks require specialist attention. A pre-purchase inspection by a Toyota or Lexus specialist with full fluid analysis runs $200, non-negotiable on any GX470 at any mileage. The reason the GX470 costs $14,000 today is the only reason any of these SUVs cost what they cost. The market moved. The GX460 arrived. The Land Cruiser absorbed all the cultural recognition that the GX470's platform deserved, and the GX470 sat on used lots across America, overlooked, while buyers chased European alternatives with air suspension failures and turbocharged V6, issues that Toyota engineers specifically designed this platform to make irrelevant. Find a documented GX470, timing belt done, fluids current, inspection completed, and you have the Land Cruiser platform, the 2UZ-FE V8, and Lexus flagship interior specification for $14,000. That transaction exists right now. It will not exist at this price forever. 4 SUVs, 4 engineering platforms the market has completely forgotten to price correctly. The Lincoln Navigator, 5.4-liter Triton V8, body on frame, Ford F150 parts everywhere, $12,000. The Cadillac Escalade, L926.2-liter V8 with no AFM, no cylinder deactivation, GMT 900 platform, $14,000. The Infiniti QX56, VK5, 6 V8, Nissan F-Alpha body on frame, 300,000-mile ownership documentation, $8,000. And the Lexus GX470, 2UZ-FE Land Cruiser V8. Locking differential, Lexus flagship interior, $14,000. Every single one of these requires the same discipline from you. Complete documentation, specialist pre-purchase inspection. Walk away from anything that cannot provide both. These are not cars you buy on hope. These are SUVs you buy on evidence, the same evidence that owners with 300,000 miles on these platforms have already collected and posted in ownership forms across the internet. The evidence is there. The prices are there. The only thing missing is the buyer who asks the right questions. If this video changed how you see the used luxury SUV market, hit that like button. Subscribe to AutoNexus. Every week we find the engineering stories the market forgot and the prices that make them impossible to ignore. Unloved, underpriced, waiting for you. Buy smart, not by trend. See you next time.